From debating the significance of a white evening dress to waiting for your son to return home through the darkness, these are controversial movie endings that haven't been solved. Hollywood filmmakers love keeping audiences on the edge of their seat, guessing what's going to happen to their favorite characters and who's going to be revealed as the killer. From classic Sherlock Holmes to the Scream franchise, moviegoers love trying to solve the puzzles offered to them on the big screen. But sometimes, writers decide to leave us with more questions than answers, letting our imaginations run wild to speculate what actually happened. And James Cameron has left fans stumped for decades, debating the significance of Kate Winslet's dress at the end of his 1997 blockbuster Titanic. For anyone who doesn't know, Titanic is the story of Jack, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, and Rose, played by Kate Winslet in her breakout role. While on the cruise ship, they fall in love. The ship sails into an iceberg and capsizes, ultimately causing Jack to die in the icy waters after supposedly helping Rose to safety by propping her up on one of the ship's wooden doors that's floating in the water. It seems reasonable that Rose would meet the same fate as Jack, since she's soaked, floating on a piece of wood in the icy waters. But maybe not. The movie ends with the film's narrator, an older Rose, asleep, and the camera pans back to the shipwreck with everything being reset to how it was prior to the wreck, showing Rose entering the first-class section of the dining deck, meeting up with Jack at the grand staircase, and kissing one another, leading to speculation that was the moment that Rose died. Why? Because the evening dress she's wearing is the same dress she wore in an earlier scene, when Jack left a note for her saying, "Meet me at the clock," where she was wearing a red version of the same dress, which was now white, a supposed symbol of her arrival in heaven to reunite with Jack, fulfilling her promise to meet him again and bringing the story full circle.
Get into the boat. Rose. Goodbye, Mother. Rose?
James Cameron has confirmed that Jack died, saying, "He needed to die. It's like Romeo and Juliet. It's a movie about love and sacrifice and mortality. The love is measured by the sacrifice." And he also admits that both of them could have died in that situation, but not necessarily. So if Leo only died out of story necessity, not from the icy waters, and one of them could have survived, maybe Rose didn't die at all. And the final scene was nothing more than future Rose dreaming, just as we're left to wonder about Dom Cobb at the end of Christopher Nolan's 2010 film Inception, the story of a man who invades people's dreams to steal information from them, then implanting information into people's minds, making the phrase "a dream inside a dream inside a dream" popular, and created a firestorm of speculation regarding the nature of the film, and most importantly, the ending. In the film, Dom Cobb, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, making his second appearance in this video, tosses his spinning top to see if he's dreaming or awake. If it spins, he's still dreaming. If it falls, he's awake, and the movie comes to a sudden end when Cobb spins the top to determine the state of his reality, and his children become the focus. He approaches and greets them, but he's still unsure of what was revealed by the top, and viewers were left asking, is the top still spinning, or is he awake? If we assume, as many people have, that Inception is about a father trying to get home to his children, the simplest conclusion would be that when he meets his children at the end, he's not dreaming and has finally found his way home. But what if the idea of home is simply in his mind and doesn't exist in reality? Christopher Nolan hasn't offered a straightforward answer and enjoys the fact that fans are left to wonder, even if some of them were left unsatisfied by the ending, as he admitted when he said, "I skip out of the back of the theater before anyone catches me, and the audience has a really strong reaction, generally groan. I guess as long as people continue to discuss the film, it's a win for him, but is there anything to guide us down the right path?" Michael Caine, who played Miles, DiCaprio's father-in-law in the film, claims that all the scenes he was in were part of Cobb's reality, and he was in the last scene, ruling out it being a dream, according to him. Also, Cobb isn't wearing his wedding ring in the scene, and he wore it in all the dream sequences, leaving fans to argue that Cobb had to have ended the film in the real world. But the answer may fall somewhere in the middle, since the top neither spins spins nor falls. It only wobbles, and that may be a sign that his dreams and reality have merged, making it so there is no correct answer. And I'm sure David Lynch applauded Nolan's efforts, as he is no stranger to penning bizarre films with dream sequences and mysterious endings, like the 2001 psychological thriller Mulholland Drive, a film that still has people scratching their heads wondering who the real Diane is, after being guided through the majority of the film by an alternate version of reality, where Naomi Watts' Diane character assumes the role of Betty. People from Diane's real life play assorted roles across the dreamscape, but they're all slightly altered. And even Diane herself is in the dream. In one scene, Betty and Rita enter Diane's house through a side window and find a dead body in Diane's bed, only to be shocked when they discover that it's Diane, and the viewers are shown the real her after she committed suicide, which is seemingly confirmed by the red bed sheets that are seen before the dream begins, and by the fact that Diane is wearing the same dress and lying in the same posture that we witness her wake up in. But if it were all that simple, and the story is nothing more than a telling of Diane's dream, why does a huge part of the dream not involve her in any way? Since dreams typically happen from a first-person point of view. Also, why would she impersonate the Adam character and be involved in his marriage issues when they have nothing to do with her? Some people have offered explanations for this confusion, suggesting that because the movie is pieced together from an abandoned series idea, it lacks cohesion, and that might be the case, though I'm sure David Lynch would disagree, just as fans disagree over the ending of Joel and Ethan Coen's 2007 crime thriller, No Country for Old Men, where Sheriff Ed Tom Bell, played by Tommy Lee Jones, tells his wife about two seemingly random dreams. One where he lost money his father gave him, and another where he and his father were traveling through a mountain pass, and his father went ahead to make a fire and wait for him. Neither seems relevant to anything that happened in the film, but almost certainly have to be relevant, right? One explanation is that the dreams summarize the underlying moral of the story. That change is inevitable, and you must accept your legacy or be haunted by it, and Sheriff Ed losing the money his father gave him represented loss, and the disappointment of not living up to his father's expectations because he would have expected more from him.
You're having fun with me.
What give you that idea? I seen one of the cats hurt it.
How'd you know it was my truck?
I deduced it when you walked in.
The second dream is supposed to represent burying the hatchet between the two, waiting for his son to return home through the darkness, fueling the idea that it wasn't Javier Bardem's villain that was the focus of the movie. It was Sheriff Bell's story, and was destined to fail in his pursuit of Shigur from the very beginning. No one can be entirely sure except the Coen brothers, and no matter what you believe the ending truly means, they'd probably say, yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man. So what's your opinion? Leave a comment and let us know. So from waiting for your son to return home through the darkness, to debating the significance of a white evening dress, those were controversial movie endings that haven't been solved.